Hey guys, what's up, man? This is LL77, and I just got a little bit of a story. I grew up on the wrong side of the tracks, or the other side of the tracks. There's never a wrong side. Even though we were poor, uh, and we struggled bad. We didn't have much money, and I grew up as an only child till I was 17. So before I turned 17, things were all out of whack. And I turned out of boredom, I guess. I turned to the drink, alcohol. And and it was just really some messed up stuff. I want to play some beats. This is called the Chill Pop Radio, jazzy hip hop beats. Something different. I don't know what it's like. Never heard it before. But I'm gonna try different beats all the time. Then I'm gonna go to a couple live streams of my friends, and I'm gonna do a live stream myself. I'll turn this down so I can focus. All right. Started out okay. I was almost died at birth. I came out ass first, upside down, almost killed my poor mother. And the cord was around my neck and everything else. They said I was this close to not making it. I'm glad I did, because I got 4 beautiful kids out of it. And a lovely family who love me and everything else. It's hard doing the biography stuff. Alright. Coming back from Montreal, 18. I'm jumping a few years ahead, and I might go back. When I was 18 years old, I took a train from Toronto to Nova Scotia. And on that train trip, I met this lady. Her name was Maria Valverdere. I can't say her last name properly. So, we kissed a couple times, nothing major, just like little kids. But the issue was the hardest part about this. I had to use the washroom because I was with this chick and I was getting, so I was using the washroom. And I'm trying to hurry up and get back there and get back into some kissing. I was only like 16 or I don't know, just a kid. And while I was rushing, the train's been going like this, and I'm trying to hurry up, and I finish, and I went to zip up 3 inches into the, and this is way up in northern New Brunswick, and I sat down beside the girl, and I couldn't sit up like that, or it would stretch. Ouch! Mom's live streaming on a class right now. Sorry about that. And then I got back to the seat, and Marie Valverdere, I don't even know her last name. Tried to rub my leg. And I said, no, don't. Because I was scared if I, it would hurt because it would stretch the zipper. It was thick in there. So I had to, and she was like, hey, you're not one of those, are you? I was like, what's that mean? No, don't worry about that, man. I was like, it's just... So anyways, all the way to Truro, 5 hours, 6 hours, like this, leaning over. Then I had to pee again. because we were sipping on drinks. And I had to go to the washroom, and that was impossible. Just, oh, and it was bad. It was just bad. And that's all I'll say about that. Don't try to rush when you're using the washroom on the train. Injuries can happen. Because I landed at the hospital, and the doctor half laughed and just was like grinning at me. But anywho, then as I got older, I ended up making enemies with the police and stuff, which that was long ago. And I had a police officer who was whispering something to me. This sucks. He was whispering something to me, and I'm listening away, and turned around. He goes, "You can't hear me?" I said, "No." He said, "And the handcuffs were behind my back." I was in trouble, that's why. It was only like 19 or 20, 30 years ago. So, and I leaned up, what? And didn't buddy slam the brakes on. Handcuffs behind my back, up against the glass. I was like, oh man. Good one, I laughed at him. He was more mad after that. Then we went to court. And he lived in my neighborhood, so that was a conflict of interest, right? But I don't say no names or nothing, because he's a good person. Like, get along with him now. I grew up a lot up here. I think he did too, you know. We had to call it a truce. So anywho, he got me good, that one. Slammed the brakes on. He goes, pardon? Even pardon, even. I didn't even say, huh? What? Pardon me? Use my proper manners. So anyways, I'm just chilling in the backseat of this car, cop car. Handcuffs behind my back, straight to jail. Chucked in the jail cell. And that's the end of that. I'm just going to jump to little stories. Oh, while I was in Toronto, 1988, I have the tattoo on my arm. It says, Kiss Army. And there's a heart that was a cover-up. I had LP. And a very cool, kind of cool tat. I don't know why I covered it. I could have covered it with something cooler than that. But anyways, I was in Toronto. Walking up Yonge Street, right in the main drag. I seen Steve Smith working at the arcade. Oh yeah, quarters and everything. He had the quarter rack around his right here, and he looking right cool. Here you go, Lloyd. $5. Oh, don't stop on me. I'll answer soon. They better leave a message. Maybe I'll call back. All right. Oh, smokes. It's like a talking stick. It helps me talk a little better. Anyways, walking up Yonge Street between Bay and Yonge, and there's another street, Dundas, and all these other areas, right? And I'm walking right up the main drag of Yonge Street, Toronto. And when I'm up there, there's this guy standing there, and he had an afro, and he was standing there with a Christmas tree. And this is like July 1988, and I'm like, why is he with a Christmas tree? I was like, oh well, whatever, it's a big city, you know. So, and I'm walking, he wouldn't let me by, and I'm like, trying to get by him. I felt like a football player playing for the Saints, because I am a Saint, that's why. But I was like, and he goes, and he wouldn't let me by at all. And he had muscly, no shirt on, right, all muscly guy. But he looked whacked out on something, right? So I'm like, how come you won't let me go by, man? I couldn't run across to the other sidewalk because it was like friggin' bunch of, I would have had to go through 3 aisles going that way and 3 aisles going that way or something like that. A lot of cars. And then I'm like, I can't cross the street. Vehicles were going like crazy. And he wouldn't let me go by, so I did a fake on him. I pulled like a Deion Sanders back, and then I went left. He went left. I took a right and ran around and almost tripped over this old Christmas tree. All the branches fell off it and everything. It's like, ah. So anyways, that was that. Back to Montreal. I was in Montreal there. So I was hanging out at the temple. It's in Chinatown area where the natives hang out. And I was hanging out, and this poor lady, and this is a serious thing. I was sitting there, and she was chilling, probably a few feet over, not far. We could all talking and chilling out and talking. We were in the alleyway behind all these skyriders because I wasn't spending my last money on a hotel room. Then I'd be broke. So I had a few hundred, but them hotels are expensive. And I could have went to the shelter, but it was full. I was like, thank God it was like August, early August. So anyways, and people on the other side, like, they're all natives, right? And then, this poor lady, she was crying in the morning. First we were just talking, everybody was talking, like crisscross talking, and everybody all laughing and talking. And this one dude would come up with his truck and open the car up and blast music for us. It was pretty cool. I forget his name. Anywho, I was hanging out with some couple folks from down here. Like I said, I won't say no names or nothing. Next thing you know, man, this girl was bawling her head off, so no one talked to her. No one was speaking to her. They just let her be, and I just had to. I felt bad. So I went up. I said, what's wrong? She said, my mother drowned in the pool out back of the house last night. And I was like, oh my God. I'm so sorry. I even shouldn't have said nothing. It's none of my business to go there, but I didn't know it was something so serious. But yeah, anyway, she was from up, I don't know, she was like way up north. Way up there where Santa Claus lives. Like, well, anyways, that's enough of that story. And yeah, and then another time, one sec. Okay, I'm back. I was just thinking it was like minus 28 outside Celsius. Cold as cold can be. And me and my buddies were just little rascals. 14 years old, Let's go in the swimming pool. Victoria, let's warm up in there for a minute. It's cold because we were walking home. And it was a good 3-mile walk. We were in town walking to the reserve. So we went there, and I had big old trucker boots on, big old jacket, a winter hat on, you name it. Had it happening. I was dressed for the season, but it was still cold, even with all that stuff on. But to make it worse, the doors were open, nobody was swimming. They were cleaning the pool. The pool was all full right to the top, and it was straight smooth as glass. So I went right over to the edge, and I'm looking at it. Didn't my buddy, Ivan, gave me the smallest little push? I went in. I think it was my nerves. I just fell in the water. Trucker boots trying to scramble out of there. Next thing you know, all these lifeguards or whatever they are, lifeguards that worked at the pool come running. You guys get out of here! Rah, rah, rah. Flames coming out of their mouth, smoke coming out of their ears, mad as ever because I just had clothes on, which I probably had dirty boots on or something. Oh, memories. Another time. Like, geez, man. I was going down James Street on roller skates. Full blast. Going down fast, too, man. Just cruising, and I thought I was alright. Super cool, man. Making my roller skates with the four wheels on each roller skate, back in the 80s and early 90s. So, and I'm like showing off. Chicks were watching. And I was going like this, man. Crossing my legs and going right cool like this. And didn't my roller skates catch in the middle? I went flying. Scraped my arm all the way up here. Then we go another little short story. I was up in Eskasoni and I was telling the doctor I have panic attacks, and I really do. There's no word of a lie about that. I have massive panic attacks. And any of my true friends who know me have seen me suffer bad panic attacks. I've been suffering for a long time. Maybe since my father passed as a child. Then my uncles, two of my uncles, when I was like 8 or 9 or something like that. Oh, gotta switch this up. Oh no, I don't gotta switch it up. But the nerves probably hit then when I was 14. I lost my aunt I loved so much, my Aunt Rose, and man, it was a hard time. And I was probably going through puberty or something, man. Anxiety attacks started hitting me, and I didn't know what the frig was going on. I'm like, and I still have this every day, because I did witness this many serious incidents of violence, extreme violence too. And that could be part of it too, and it's all up here. I need straight up counseling for PSTD. And this is where I pick up my humor, because I struggled when I was young. I struggled so much. Then when I was 16, I was so nervous. I was just nervous. I got skinny and everything. I just wasn't taking care of myself. I'd go home and I wouldn't go out and join the boys. Everything was all out of whack, man. And you know what I did? I got the tattoo artist. Come over here, bro. Come over. Jason Mahar. Still a good artist. A lot of these ones are just homemade jaws. Ones with crosses and Aussie on there. OG. This one right here, so that was my ex-wife's name on there. And no disrespect to her. We're friends today. But I was dating a girl which happened to be her distant cousin from another reservation. And she was trying to give me sexy eyes. She was going, and she had my hand like this. She was holding my hand and she was looking at my eyes with her sexy eyes. And she was kissing. Doing all that stuff, you know, trying to get me going, right? Then she was like that, puts my hand down, gives me this nice smile. And then she looked down and she seen my ex's name on my hand. Poof! Ah! I got punched in the arm. Threw my hand down. You cover that up or we're done. And then she was pregnant with my son. I was like, I said, that's my other 3 kids' mother. I said, but no, you won't see your son ever. Rah, rah. So anyways, I just friggin' took it off. Anyways, next story. I just gotta think about it 1 sec. Okay, next story out of nowhere. I'm just gonna free flow it out. I put a bunch of tattoos all over me. On my arms. I had a couple on my neck. I still want to put R.I.P. John McKay. I miss my homie so much. Like, still miss him. He's been gone 6 years. But I put the tattoos on because when I was like at a young age, I had a beef. I had problems with these other crew, right? These guys wanted to beat me up, right? And my buddies that had my back were way on the other side of the reserve, and the big boys, were in Shuby, that was like 25 miles away from here. And back then, you had to rush to a phone and go. You dialed the wrong number. Can you make it to Turo? Well, I can get a drive in 4 hours. I said, well, I got like 7 guys coming after me anytime now. They just drove by like 6 times, giving me the finger and everything. I threw a rock at their car after that, and then it just made things worse. Man, oh man, oh man. Next thing you know, our dog, his name was Casper, he ran out there barking at that car. And I just went in the house. I was trying to avoid them until my buddies could make it here. And I heard a gunshot. I went outside, made sure that car was going. I seen that little car take off. It was 3 brothers. Larry, Daryl, and Steve. I don't know, whatever their names were, right? And anyways, I get out there, and the dog had a bullet hole in his head, but it came out the roof of his mouth, just only cutting his tongue. Missed every artery and brain, everything, but you know how the dog's head is shaped, went in this way. So they must have been a drive-by shooting on my dog. And I was mad. So later that day, I went over. Later that night, it was dark time. I went over. I put a great big block of cheese on the top of the car. Because I was mad, you know, don't shoot my dog. He's over there all suffering, but he was alive and it was air. You could hear it breathing out of the top of his head. It was weird, man. So next you know, I friggin' kicked this guy's car and everything. And I kicked his car, I lost my balance, I fell back. And these poor fellers that were upstairs in a different apartment trying to have a good night had all their Harley Davidsons parked out there. When I kicked that buddy's car, boom, I fell back and all those motorbikes went tuk, 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 onto the ground. I was like, I'm dead. That's it. Now I got it on the phone. Boys, get down here, hurry, man. I'm fucked. Excuse my language. But man, I said, I'm fucked for real. As I kicked Buddy's car and put a chunk of cheese on the top of the hood. And then when I kicked the car, I went back and I knocked into, it was a parking lot of James Street Apartments. And the motorbikes, all Harleys, probably a bunch of bikers. My bad. But I fell into them. They went tuk, 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 just like dominoes. I was like, oh man. Couple of stories I gotta leave out because, you know, just stupid stuff. But you know what, guys? You guys all have a good one. I'm gonna do a good story. I'm gonna do a live stream, and I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. I miss all my family. I lost a lot. I think that's what it was. It was a lot of death when I was young. And the anxiety attacks. I'm 50 now, and I still suffer panic attacks. And I don't know what the heck to do about it. So, every time I talk to a doctor, they don't believe me. Thinking, because I used to wear my hat backwards with a headband underneath. And they're looking at me, yeah, thinking I'm on the scheme, Guy writes a prescription out. I looked at it, and they put him in a little box. This was an Escasoni. And the doctor was a Middle Eastern guy, you know, he seemed like a nice dude. I said, oh my God, I'm so thankful, man, because I hate having panic attacks. Because I don't even like going in my room and going to bed sometimes because I'm having anxiety. I said, you know, I don't know what it is. I didn't know what anxiety was. I just know I was having panic and hyperventilating and stuff. I couldn't breathe. I wouldn't run towards the hospital. I ran to the woods, right stupid. It was just not thinking at all. So anyway, it's like, man, he wrote this prescription out and I opened them up. Oh, and it had the you know, the generic name on it. Didn't say Lectopam, 6 milligram. They were green. And I'm like, oh shit, yeah. That's the video on Lloyd Paul Gets Twisted on my old channel, my first channel. Then I took a year off, and then when I tried to log back into YouTube, it wouldn't let me. So anyways, the prescription was wrote